Welcome to the House Therapy, the podcast that helps you to create a home that you love to live in. I'm Nina Dwaron, owner and lead designer at ISO Design and Interiors. And each week, we're going to explore practical ways to help bring more beauty, function, and flow into your space. From design and staging to organizing, downsizing, and everything in between. If you want a home that truly supports your life and your family, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hi, and welcome back to the House Therapy Podcast, the show where you're going to get advice and tips for all things home related. If you feel like your home is currently bursting at the seam, then this episode was made with you in mind. Listen, you don't need to get a bigger house. You don't need to do a major renovation, and you definitely do not need to add more stress to your life already. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you 10 practical ways for you to create more storage without putting yourself and your family through a renovation, all right? So these are solutions that I use in real homes with real clients, and I also use them in my own home as well. So grab a coffee, but if you are driving and listening right now, just take some mental notes so that you can act on some of these tips right away, all right? Now, why does storage feel like it's the problem? But before we jump into the solutions, I really want to make it clear that most people think that they have a storage problem, but really it is often about, not having a system or having the habit to keep up with the stuff that's in our homes. So storage is not about, finding more space, even though this episode is about exactly just that. It's really about the flow and it's about habit, okay? I just want to keep reiterating habit over and over again. And it's about making things easy for you and your family to put away. Now, let's get into some practical tips and fixes right now, okay? First, use vertical wall spaces. These spaces I find are most often underused because I'm not sure why, but people don't see that as good storage real estate now, and they really are. And it's such a viable solution, especially if you are lacking in space. Think of all the ways that you can maximize your vertical space, all right? Consider hanging wall-mounted shelves onto the wall in spaces that are much needed, like the laundry room, the mud room, your kids' rooms, and even in the garage as well as the basement, all right? Most of these wall-mounted shelves can be purchased at your local hardware store. It can be purchased at IKEA and even on Amazon. So you have such a wide option of going out there and getting some of these shelves. Now, in addition, you can also use baskets on these shelves as well in order to categorize and separate the stuff so that everything looks cleaner and neater on the shelves, all right? And it'll be a lot prettier too. So just to make sure though that you should anchor these shelves into the studs to make sure that you don't have any accidents, all right? And try and store the heavier items like books and whatnot on the lower shelf. So if it does fall down, it doesn't have far to go and nobody's gonna get injured. Now, I've had clients who will tell me that they don't want to have to reach up for things, but honestly, is it okay and right for you to clutter up your floor space instead, right? That's not the solution. So, try to use those wall spaces, because honestly, the effort of reaching up to get something versus bending down to get something is about the same, all right? So number 2 are over door storage. Doors are excellent storage real estate spaces, all right? Try and use things like over the door pantry racks in the kitchen, over the door shoe organizers, in the mudroom, and even in the closet, the hall closet. In your bathroom, if you need more towel space, you can hang a towel rack over the door. Now, many of these items don't even require a significant effort to install them, as most already have these handy dandy hooks that you can just simply hang onto the door, okay? These storage products are perfect for kids' supplies, kids' shoes even, and even like kids' undergarment and sleeping wear. And in the laundry and mudroom, you can use them to store cleaning products and supplies. And in the bathroom, you can use them to organize toiletries as well. The uses can be so extensive. And for me, I always bring one on vacation, the soft foldable one that is, because I really hate untidy spaces and floor. And when I have to share a room with my family, I want to keep our home away from home as organized and tidy as possible, especially in, what is typically a small hotel room, right? And when we have like 3 people's worth of clothes, shoes, and toiletries, it can get overwhelming. And no matter where I am, I like to keep my spaces tidy and organized. The third solution that you can look at are underbed storage, okay? Underbed storage is definitely also another viable solution if you are lacking in space. You can consider using things like rolling bins, zippered fabric containers, vacuum sealed bags for seasonal clothes and blankets, etc. But to be honest, I'm not a really big fan of underbed storage solutions because it goes against everything that the feng shui practice teaches us. But listen, if you live in a condominium and you have limited space, this may be the only solution that you can work with, honestly. So go for it. Now, the important thing to consider though with underbed storage solutions is that it still needs to be easily accessible, okay? If it's not, you're not going to use it and you're not going to maintain it. Keeping things organized in your home requires ease, right? If it's easy to do, everyone's going to do it, right? Perhaps maybe consider a bed with a built-in storage like drawers may be a better investment for you to keep your bedroom clean and organized. And it'll look so much nicer than, walking in and seeing all these bins underneath your bed. Now, number 4, you can consider investing in some double duty furniture or multi-use furniture. Furniture that has like built-in storage, such as an ottoman with storage, or a lift top coffee table that has storage in it, or beds like we mentioned earlier with drawers. Get a bench that has storage so that you can put shoes in the benches in the hallway, right? I really like the IKEA cube storage, especially when it's used with baskets. Now, these are some of the easiest and fastest solutions to incorporate, but it may require a bit of an investment, but nothing like a renovation would, right? So number 5, use clear bins, all right, with labels. Now, opaque bins tend to create like a mystery because you can't see into them, and therefore they're not used or maintained, and then they're ignored, right? So to help make the contents easier to find, label these bins clearly and with as much details as possible so that when you need to find something, you can do so easily. My preference, of course, is to use clear bins, clear stackable bins, that is, as it will allow you to see the contents within and make things easier to find. Having said that, I still recommend that you label these with as much detail as possible because, when these bins are full, you may not be able to see everything that's in it. Now, don't buy the ones with the dome lid, okay? Because it cannot be stacked. So buy the ones that are with a flat lid so that you can stack, multiple bins on top of one another. And make sure you invest in good quality bins that can withstand the frequent use and the wear and tear. Now, where possible, I would much prefer to use the plastic drawers. They come in multiple sizes, multiple drawers, multiple widths. And these plastic drawers allows for quick and easy access because they have drawers just like any dresser. They're just a lot less expensive. And if you remove the casters, which most come with, these can also be stacked as well, all right? Now, depending on how tall your towers are going to be, you may still need to anchor them for safety reasons, especially if you're using them in kids' rooms or kids' closets, okay? And again, even though they're clear and they're towers with drawers, always label everything clearly because then it'll just make things easier to find and put back, okay? Now, number 6 are drawer dividers. Drawer dividers are important for these drawers, typically like junk drawers. They can become very chaotic very quickly because we tend to throw things in. But instead, consider trying use things like the adjustable bamboo dividers, expandable kitchen drawer inserts, as well as the acrylic organizers for bathrooms and craft supplies and office supplies. These will instantly reduce your daily frustration, all right? I promise. Clutter happens when you have way too much stuff, okay? And when the stuff is unorganized, it makes it difficult to find, which then often results in you going out to buy more of it. And it then creates such a vicious cycle of clutter, all right? Using drawer dividers are going to help you to organize things into categories and make things easier to find. And, just try and keep what's only necessary and needed and try and discard the things that you no longer need, use, or love, okay? We all have those cosmetic products that have been there for years and we haven't used but never thrown up. So, take the time to do that. And the nice thing is that these drawer dividers are available at the dollar store as well, so they're not expensive at all. Number 7 is closet zoning, okay? What does that mean? Stop trying to store everything together. Try and create different zones like daily wear, work wear, seasonal wear, special occasion wear, and invest in some slim velvet hangers because these can actually double your closet hanging space. Now, if your closet is not large enough to store all of your clothes and belongings, try and switch them up by season, all right? And store the rest of them in the clear bins that we talked about earlier and label them properly and then keep switching them out with the season. Just remember though, to go through your clothes every season and ask yourself, how likely are you gonna wear this item again the next season? Or better yet, ask yourself, when was the last time you wore this item, right? And if your answer is no, then, it shouldn't surprise you that it likely is the time to let it go. And if you are planning to purchase more clothes with every season, I also recommend that you apply the 1 in, 1 out rule, okay? You bring one in, you make one go out. Or maybe even better yet, the 1 in, 2 out rules, because that is going to really help you keep the clutter away, okay? And so, I had a client who was so funny. She had a very large walk-in closet and we were helping her to pack to move. And she said, "Oh, I haven't been to this end of the closet in a long time." That made us both chuckle, as we both know that these then were not necessary to hang on to and it's time to let go, all right? Number 8 are garage and basement spaces. Utilize the ceiling in these spaces, okay? This space is so underused frequently. Most people forget that, all about the storage opportunities in the ceiling, especially if you have a nice high ceiling in the garage. There's so many cool products these days that allows you to store bins, heavy bins, on the ceiling racks, which can then be pulled down easily using a pulley system. This makes for a great storage solution for seasonal items. You can even hang bikes and seasonal toys using ceiling hooks, right? I always recommend adding like strong utility shelves on both sides of the garage because then you can store garden supplies, seasonal toys, outdoor toys, Christmas decorations and things like that. And it allow you to maximize the vertical wall space in the garage. And it'll keep the floor tidy so that you can actually park your vehicle. And this is important with Canadian winters, right? And in the basement also, if your basement is unfinished, these shelves are really going to be useful for storing literally everything, all right? And keep the floor nice and tidy so that your kids may even play down there, right? Because the basement often is such a dumping zone for things that we don't, use often. Number 9 are basket systems, all right? Baskets are more than decoration. There's so many beautiful baskets in all types of materials these days. Try and add these to your shelves to keep everything neatly organized, all right? Label the baskets as well so that kids can find what they need easily. Now, if they're not at the reading age yet, you can consider printing out images instead because images are a universal language, right? And baskets are so great for storing throw blankets, extra cushions, toys, school supplies, craft supplies, your mail, your shoes, and even outdoor gears like winter hats, mitts, and summer hats and things like that. And, if the baskets are big enough, you can even use them to store extra clothes in the closets as well. Now, here's a quick tip, all right? Every busy area needs a drop zone basket. So that includes like the mudroom, the foyer, the entrance, right? This will help to contain the clutter in these areas. Just be sure though to go through it on a weekly basis and discard what's no longer needed, especially the mail basket. Like we all have the habit of picking up mail daily, don't have time to look at it and throw it in the basket. Just take some time on a weekly basis to go through it and discard, all the junk mail and stuff like that. Number 10 is to create a 15-minute reset. This includes doing the mail basket, all right? Now, the biggest upgrade that you can do for maintaining clutter is habit and setting up a routine. So every evening, once everything settles down, homework is done, clear the surfaces and return items to their labeled bins and baskets and get your kids to help you with this. It'll help them to get into the habit of keeping their spaces tidy as well. Remember, you do not have to do this alone. There are other family members in your house that can help you too. And if there are clothes and shoes in the entryway, get the entire family to involve and get into habit of putting it away as soon as they come home. And if that's not done, then make sure that it gets done before bedtime, all right? You can also tidy the kitchen and the counter after dinner and the bathroom after bedtime routines as well, all right? Storage without maintenance will fail if you don't incorporate, the habit and the system of tidying up on a daily basis. 15 minutes is such a small amount of time to your day to keep clutter away because, listen, it'll cost you a lot more in time and money if you let clutter get out of hand. So when you need more support though, sometimes it's not about buying more baskets and bins. Sometimes it's about getting a little help to create the system that your family can maintain. And that's where professional organizers like us can help, all right? What we do is we design and customize an organizing plan for your family so that, it will eliminate or alleviate the overwhelm and help you get back on track So especially if you're busy with family and careers. What we can do is we can help by, coming in, assessing the space, and giving you solutions or giving you the hands-on help as well. Just visit our website for some more information about that. And I'm going to include the link to our organizing service in the show notes below. Now, a final thought. You don't need a bigger house for stuff, okay? And you don't need more dressers and wardrobes and other types of furniture to store stuff. What you need is a better habit and a system that you can keep up with, all right? When you apply these small intentional changes, it can make your home feel lighter, calmer, more at peace, and much more manageable, which is the important thing. So if this episode helped you, please follow the show, share it, and send it to another busy mom who can really use these tips or need to hear this advice today, okay? And as always, if you take care of your home, it'll take care of you. And please, I encourage you to take one action today to maintaining the clutter in your home, okay? Until the next episode, bye for now. Thank you for listening to the House Therapy Podcast. If today's episode inspired you, be sure to follow the show and share it with someone who would love it too. For more tips, resources, or to work with me directly, visit isodesign.ca. Until next time, remember, with a little effort, every home can be beautiful and every space can be functional. And remember, you deserve it.